Brahman, all-pervasive spiritual energy, Paramatma, God in the heart, and then Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Bhagavan is the person who is speaking Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the science of God, is already situated in transcendence. So again, things are being repeated. You don't rejoice, you don't lament, you're equipoised. You're self-intelligent because your intelligence is based on understanding that I'm eternal soul. You're unbewildered because you don't go through that door of sense gratification. And you know the science of God. The science of God is being taught here in Bhagavad Gita. If you can do like this, you are situated in transcendence. You're above the modes of nature. You're not of this world. Remember, like a lotus leaf on top of the water, you're not touched. Such a liberated person who is not attracted to material sense pleasure is always situated in trance and enjoys the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for such a person concentrates on the Supreme. So, a self-realized or liberated person has got the higher taste. In chapter 2, we learned about the higher taste. The higher taste is spiritual life, transcendence. And such a person is enjoying within, not externally, not chasing the mirage of this material world. Sense gratification is a mirage. There appears to be happiness. There appears to be the reality, but it's a mirage. The more you chase after it, it always remains further ahead. And unlike material sense gratification, Bhagavad Gita gives you unlimited happiness, ananda. The material world, that's not ananda. Material happiness is limited and temporary. But the happiness of Krishna consciousness is eternal and unlimited, just the opposite. And this all comes by concentrating on Krishna. The remainder of this chapter is the peace formula. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. This is so important. The causes of our misery is because we are trying to satisfy the demands of the senses separate from service to Krishna. Such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise person does not delight in them. Just by accepting this statement of Bhagavad Gita, one can become convinced. Why should I try for those things which are going to give me a happiness which has a beginning and an end? That doesn't make sense. Rather, I should choose that thing which is going to give me unlimited happiness and which is forever. That is Krishna consciousness. Let me be a wise man. Let me pursue the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Before giving up this present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the material senses and check the force of desire and anger, then one is well situated and happy in this world. So the urges, there's the urge to speak, the urge of the mind, the urge of the tongue, the belly, the genitals, and the urge of anger. So these urges have to be controlled, and the only way to control them is to utilize them in Krishna consciousness. One may ask, anger? How can I use anger in Krishna consciousness? Arjuna is an excellent example. Krishna wants Arjuna to be angry, to fight this war. Why does Krishna want Arjuna to fight this war? Because it's the right thing to do. Krishna wants Arjuna and his brothers to rule the earth because they are righteous. They are the saintly. The winner of this battle of Kurukshetra will rule the world. The other party, the Kauravas, are led by Duryodhana. And Duryodhana is offense personified. He's an evildoer. And Krishna does not want irreligiousness and an evildoer to rule the world. Krishna wants Arjuna, and especially his elder brother Yudhishthira, who is the son of religion personified, to rule the world. And you can't fight a war unless you're angry. So anger can be controlled when used for Krishna, not otherwise. When Krishna is sanctioning the war, then that is proper use of anger. Arjuna and his brothers are not fighting this war for sense gratification. They're fighting it on religious principles, on the order of Krishna. So anger can be controlled only when used for Krishna. The tongue can be controlled when we are always talking about Krishna or tasting the remnants of food offered to Krishna. The mind is controlled by always thinking of Krishna. In this way, all the senses, all the urges, if they're dovetailed with Krishna's purpose, then we are happy and liberated. One whose happiness is within, who is active and rejoices within, whose aim is inward, is actually the perfect mystic. Why inward? Because that's where Krishna is. He's in the heart. So we have to contact Krishna within the heart. Such a person is liberated in the Supreme, and ultimately one attains the Supreme. And the Supreme is Krishna's abode, the eternal kingdom of God. Those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living beings, and are freed from all sins, achieve liberation in the Supreme. Here are the qualifications of being a Krishna-conscious devotee, especially busy working for the welfare of others. And the best welfare work is to preach the message of Bhagavad Gita. That is what Krishna wants us to do. Preach the message of Bhagavad Gita to whoever we see. That is the best welfare work. Those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future. Shutting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths within the nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence. The transcendentalist, aiming at liberation, becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated. This verse is going to lead into the next chapter, where Krishna is explaining the yoga system. Krishna here has just indicated. Now, the final verse of chapter 5, which is a very important verse, a verse all of us should commit to memory, because this verse is the peace formula. Just like in mathematics, a formula gives you nice information. Here is the peace formula. Krishna says, a person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. So if you want peace, you need to know these three things of the peace formula. That Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer, meaning we should not be so concerned with trying to enjoy ourselves, but act in such a way as to satisfy Krishna's enjoyment. By doing that, I will automatically enjoy. Just like if you decorate your face and you look in the mirror, the reflection in the mirror is also decorated. So the concept of Bhagavad Gita is we try as far as possible to satisfy the senses of Krishna, and since we are Krishna's reflections, then we will also be happy and satisfied, not by directly satisfying ourselves, but by satisfying Krishna. In the mirror, you don't decorate the reflection in the mirror. You decorate the face, then the reflection is decorated. Similarly, we satisfy Krishna, then the reflection, us, are satisfied. Or, if you have a plant or a tree, you don't water each and every leaf. You go to the root. If you satisfy the root, then all the leaves and branches are nourished. Krishna is the root of all existence. Bhagavad Gita teaches if you satisfy the root, all the living entities, all the leaves and branches, because we're all connected to Krishna, then we will be satisfied. Another example. You don't put food in your ear, in your eye, in your nose. The food goes to the mouth, to the stomach, and then it's distributed. Similarly, everyone is part of the body of Krishna. We feed Krishna, and automatically everyone will be nourished. So therefore, Krishna is the enjoyer of all sacrifices, austerities, everything. That's number one. Krishna is the enjoyer. If I'm convinced that Krishna is the enjoyer and I act in that understanding, that's the first step to peace. Step number two, that Krishna is the proprietor. He owns everything. Nothing is mine. I didn't even create this body. What is mine? Everything is Krishna's energy. He will explain this in chapter 7. The material, the spiritual energy are emanating from Krishna. It does not belong to me or you or anyone in this world. It is Krishna's energy. Matter and spirit belong to Krishna. If I understand this, that nothing belongs to me, that everything belongs to Krishna, and therefore we have equal access. We're all children of God. God is the Father, as Krishna will say in chapter 14. Then what is this differentiation between nations and communities? It's a false misunderstanding. We are all children of God. He has given us this material world. Let us share it nicely. No fighting. Let us share nicely, because everything belongs to our Father, Krishna. And then the third thing, that Krishna is the well-wisher. He's your best friend. There are many kinds of friends, but the best kind of friend is the well-wisher. The well-wisher is someone who has only your interest at heart. And Krishna is saying, I am your best well-wisher. You're not going to find a better friend than Krishna, not only in this life, in any life. You may have a friend, you may have a husband, you may have a wife, you may have children, but they can only go so far, they can only get this close, they can only do so much. And after this life, you'll go someplace, they'll go another place. What happened? No. There is a friend that has been with me in every birth that I've taken. I may have a very nice wife or husband, but that's this life. What about in my previous life? And what about in lives to come? There's no telling that person's going to be with me. But Krishna has been with me in every body that I've taken. 8,400,000. I have been roaming and rotating in this material world. Lord Chaitanya explains that we are rotating throughout this 14 planetary system, sometimes up, sometimes down. 8,400,000. And who has been with me through all those births? Krishna. In my heart as Super Soul. When I was aquatic, when I was a reptile, when I was a bird, when I was an animal, when I was an insect, now that I'm a human being, and no matter where I go after this, Krishna, the same Krishna, will be with me life after life. He's my best friend, and he knows me better than anyone else, better than even I know myself. Krishna knows me. Therefore, my best friend is Krishna. So if I know these three things, that Krishna is the enjoyer, that Krishna is the proprietor, the owner, and that Krishna is my best friend, if I can convince myself and act in this understanding, then peace. Here is the peace formula. And if you want peace, then I recommend that you begin to chant the holy name of Krishna. I'm going to show you my prayer beads, and on these beads, I achieve peace by chanting the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Those of you watching, please chant with me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let us do it one more time to achieve peace. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.